Hello, 101FM here, and welcome to a little quick video. This is your night game in 20 minutes. So I've got to get this rendered, uploaded, recorded, and uploaded all before Team News comes out in 20 minutes. So do apologise if this feels a bit rushed. Got a little spoiler there. There's a little spoiler in this corner here. And here is the first team. I've done a massive list. I'll just expand it and scroll up while I explain some of the players, but this is my Premier League prediction, as you've probably seen by the title. At 20th, I have Cardiff City. I don't think their team has a good enough squad for promotion to the Premier League. I don't think their squad was good enough last year, and I don't think with their improvements, even this year, that they would have got promoted from the Championship if they were in it. At the moment, of course, if you do disagree with me with any of these, leave it in the comments. I might have a little debate in there, but I'm just going to have a quick sentence about a couple of the teams, and then the main conversation will be in the comment section. At 19 is Watford. Just completely ruined it. Watford, I don't think their team's good enough, to be honest. They didn't really show a massive amount of form last season, only in spells, mostly at the start, and just I think they have the squad, but I just don't think they've got enough inspiration and goal scoring form and consistency to stay up. And Huddersfield, I think it's just quality. I think the first season was a bit more of a surprise than they expected, but I tipped them to go down. So unfortunately, Huddersfield, Watford and Cardiff fans, you're going down. After that is Brighton and Hove Albion. I think they could be easily in with Huddersfield, Watford and Cardiff. I see Cardiff is going down, and then 17th, 18th and 19th being teams that could easily be in each other's positions. Brighton, basically the same as Huddersfield. I don't think your squad's good enough, and I think if you get down to the Championship, I don't think you'll come back up, if I'm honest. At 16th is Southampton. I think Southampton have got the squad, and probably should be, even trying to push Everton. I know Everton has spent a lot of money, but that's the sort of money that Southampton should be spending, to be honest. If not fighting with them, at least being kind of close. But unfortunately for you Southampton fans, I don't think your season's going to be that good. I think Claude Puel as a manager, he's actually at Leicester. Jeez, I don't even know who your manager is. That's how little I know about your club. But I don't think your strikers, even though I rate Charlie Austin and Danny Ings, I don't reckon they're going to bring you with enough points to put you where you want to be. But I suppose 16th is basically the same as any other league position if you finish in mid-table, to be honest. Crystal Palace, I think if they keep the whole team squad for the whole of the season, I think they could keep their team in survival mode. But I think if they got too many injuries, or even long injuries to Zaha like that last season, I think they could easily be dropped into the relegation zone. At 14th is Bournemouth. Even though they have strengthened with a couple of signings, I don't think they've done enough, to be honest. I think a lot of other teams are strengthened a lot more than Bournemouth. And I don't think they have the budget in the Premier League, to be honest, which probably isn't the best with their 11,000 odd seater stadium. But if they're not going to increase that, I'm afraid they're not going to increase their Premier League finish. But I think they'll take 14th. I mean, I would with a squad like Bournemouth. 13th is Burnley. I think they would be a bit higher in the league should they not be in Europa League. But I think they're going to get through in Europa League, and if they're going to focus on that, which, to be honest, a team like Burnley should be focusing on that. As long as they get safely to the Premier League, I think a decent run for Burnley in the Europa League could be the world of good. At 12th is Wolves. I think any of the promoted sides, I think this one is the second of the three promoted sides. I think none of them are going to set the world alight, but I think at 12th position for a new promoted side is pretty good, even with the money and the players that Wolves have spent. 11th is Newcastle. I think Rafa Benitez is going to work wonders with his transfer policy, especially when his team is making profit and his owner doesn't seem to be interested in the football club and more into bringing other businesses. I think West Ham at 10th, a lot of people are putting them to maybe even challenge the top 6, or at least challenge Everton to that 7th place. And basically, I just don't see all their players gelling, to be honest. I think they've bought too many players. I think Jack Wilshere is a little bit overrated. I mean, come to the end of the season in May, and this could come to bite me back, but I think the team is going to take way too long to gel, and just the way that the fans were like last season, I don't think with a couple of bad results, West Ham are going to be on a good run of form. But I think 10th is a little bit better than the West Ham supporters would have kind of wanted, from especially looking at after last season. And 9th is Fulham, the highest of the 3 promoted teams. Not really can say much about Fulham. I think they've got a load of good signings if they keep their players fit. And looking back at this now, I'd probably swap Fulham and Wolves, but I think this last maybe bottom after 8th, any of them could just finish in any of the spots. So you never really know. I mean, this is a prediction, but this is where I'm going to predict them to finish. At 8th is Leicester. A lot of people don't rate Leicester, to be honest, but I think the signing of James Maddison, along with keeping Harry Maguire, I think Riyad Mahrez will hit them as much as they think they would. I don't think Riyad Mahrez is as big as Man City's transfer bid as reflected. He's a decent player, but not 60 million worth. 7th is Everton. I think they've done some decent transfer business. It might be the same season as last season with spending all the money and it not replicating, but I think with a manager like Marco Silva, he should get him going. A big fan of Marco Silva. Should be a bigger club, to be honest, even though it didn't really go well at Watford. But if he's got a better team at Everton, I'm sure he could do a lot better job. At 6th is Chelsea. I think the small games at the start of the season, Chelsea are going to struggle on. I think that might come to bite him in the backside, to be honest, and especially them big games, because I've heard rumours that Maurizio Sarri isn't the best of managers and could be easily found out in big games. So not that surprised if Chelsea finish at the bottom. At 5th is Spurs. I don't rate the Spurs side, to be honest. I think they're a little bit overrated. It's a bit like the Liverpool team, but I've actually got a reason to dislike Liverpool. But I think Spurs, without Harry Kane, if he kept, even with Harry Kane, this is finishing 5th. I think without Harry Kane, they could easily finish behind the likes of Chelsea and Everton. But you'd like to think Harry Kane, well, everyone else would like to think Harry Kane would stick in his goal-scoring form. But I'm not sure he's the striker that every England and Spurs fan actually think he actually is. This might just be me being a bit biased and a bit salty just because I don't even know why. Spurs aren't really a threat, to be honest. But anyway, over to the top 4. I think Arsenal, if they have a good start, I think they could finish 4th. I mean, 4th is top 6 can just change willy-nilly, to be honest. Not sure Spurs or Liverpool can actually win the league, but not sure Arsenal or Chelsea can either. So anyway, we'll get to them others on the bit. I think Arsenal under the new manager could finish 4th. I think that's a good season if they finish 4th. I don't think the squad's as good as a lot of people say. I think Aubameyang and Lacazette could bail them out of a lot of games. I don't think they're defenders buys. I don't think Bernd Leno's as good as keeper as everyone's making out. And Socrates, I've heard from a friend that he's not even that good, to be honest, and basically just a replica of Mustafi, which, if we looked at Mustafi last season, it was pretty abysmal. Over to the top 3, I did change this. I did put Man United 3rd. I think if we got a centre-back, we could have charged for a title push, but I think just the confidence between the squad about not getting that centre-back and just the way that the confidence has gone at the moment, I think by the time it wears out, I think Man City and Liverpool might be a little bit too far away, but still 3rd. I think we'll be a lot closer to Man City than I think Tottenham were 3rd from last season. but I think Man City are still going to run away with it, and kind of run away with it, to be honest. I don't think Man City and Liverpool, I think the top 4, even the top 6 will be separated by like 9 points, to be honest. I think even 9 points is pushing it. I think Man City won't be the same team that they were last year, but still better than the rest of the league. But anyway, that is the end of today's episode of my Premier League predictions. Just complete that in under 10 minutes. I have to render and upload in 10 minutes. But if you do disagree about any of these teams, leave who you support and your predictions. Even show me a video maybe of your predictions on who you put from 1st to 20th. But anyway, that's it for today's video. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys later.